Hello everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's make some Thanksgiving dinner for one. All right, let's start by making the turkey. Vegan, of course, no turkey is gonna be harmed here. Actually, we're gonna get really creative. We're gonna make our own turkey. So let's see how this goes. So for the vegan turkey, I was gonna use like butter beans, you know, something more creamy, but I forgot to get them, so we have to improvise. I'm gonna use red kidney beans. I think they will be pretty good too. We need some vegan chicken broth. This is like a concentrate, so I will have to mix this with water. I'm also gonna add some marmite, some nutritional yeast, some vital wheat gluten, and also some other spices, some oil, but let's get into it. Okay, so to a blender, I'm going to add my kidney beans that I have strained and washed, nutritional yeast, some onion powder, smoked paprika, garlic salt, I can't open it. Guys, literally with 2 knives and scissors and all that I could find, I got this thing open. So let's add some more marmite. All right. I like adding marmite because I think it gives it like this depth of flavor, like when you make like vegan meat. Okay. But be careful when you close it, it gets sticky and the lid doesn't come off. And then I'm gonna add some of this chicken veggie concentrate. So we're just gonna do a little so it doesn't get too salty, and then it adds a little bit of water. Okay, and then I'm also gonna add some olive oil. And then we're gonna blend this and see how it turns out. So let's taste this. And definitely not more salt. I am gonna add a little bit of this, it's like a sweet and smoky kind of seasoning that I like to add to like vegan bacon and stuff like that. So I'm gonna add that. I'm also gonna add a little bit of MSG, but that's totally optional. Just because I think it brings out the depth of flavor a little bit. Add a little bit more water. And then let's just see, mix it up again. Alright. Now we're going to add the vital wheat gluten. Alright. And then blend. Make sure you hold this tight. Alright. You should get something like this. Alright, so you want kind of like something that's like stringy, like you can pull it like that. I ended up adding a little water to get the right consistency, because in the beginning when I made these seitan kind of things myself, it was always a little too dry, but this looks very good. do like a, I'm just gonna pull this a little bit so it gets these like stringy kind of texture. Okay, and then so I'm just gonna roll this out. Pull a little. And then I'm just going to cut this. Make sure that there's no holes here. I guess let's just bring this together one more time. Okay, so we're gonna twist it a little bit and just kind of just pull it out. And then we're gonna flatten it out a little and we're gonna cut it in different strings. So this is the first time I'm doing this, you guys, so I'm learning as I go. There we go. 1, 2. Okay. There we go. And then I'm just gonna kind of braid these. Up. Go. And then you just want to kind of put a knot in it. You want to kind of repeat this a few times. Kind of losing my one string here. Again. And I'm just gonna do it again. This all knotted up. I'm just knotting like wild here right now, guys. It's just learning as we go, right? Okay. Then I have these tiny little wooden bones from Faux Bones, and so what I did with them, I basically boiled them in veggie broth for a few hours the very first time. So mine was a chicken veggie broth. I also have some ribs which I put in a beef veggie broth, so all vegan, and that's just so it doesn't taste like wood, you know, that it has like this kind of brothy like flavor to it. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna use them. We're gonna cut this in the middle here. I'm gonna form like the kind of turkey shape. I'm just gonna put this around here. All right, let me take this one. Honestly, what I love about being vegan is just how creative you can get. You know, there's really no limit. And yes, if some say now, like, why do you not eat turkey, but you make it look like a turkey? There's a lot of nostalgia with Thanksgiving and Christmas and all these kinds of things. It's not that I never enjoyed doing it, but I just know now what comes with it, and I don't want to support this any longer. So I just want to show that I can still have this nostalgia and a good meal without harming an animal, you know. So I want to make sure, kind of like, see, like this leg isn't really in there, so kind of want to make sure this is all closed up here. Right, maybe a little thicker even. So this is also gonna be a miniature one, obviously, because it's just, like I said, it's just the pups and I do not want to have any food waste. Alright, this should be good. And then we're gonna get the little wings here. Alright, something like that. I know this is like not really the wing shape, but I don't have. Maybe I could do the. Nah, we're just gonna use these. Alright, my light just gave out on me, but I think this should work too. Alright, this is kind of like a little tail. Alright. Also, you guys, my husband's not vegan, and I'm trying to just find creative ways to, you know, still have the holidays, eat together, and he's very supportive. But yeah, I'm just trying my best here, alright? Okay, I think it's pretty good. So the bottom is kinda, one leg is a little longer. I almost want to prep it up a little, and then the wings usually a little bit more like that. Just want to make sure that everything's in there. Alright, there we go.
And this is where my microphone gave up on me, so I'm just gonna do a voiceover. I took a big pot, boiled some water in it, added some of my vegan chicken broth concentrate, and then put everything to a simmer and put in my turkey. And then I let it simmer for about 90 minutes. And I just made sure it was always fully covered. There I lost the bone, one of the legs, but no worries. Nothing we can't fix. So then after 90 minutes, I took out my turkey and then just tried to fix the leg, put it back on, but then figured that I couldn't just stick it in there. So I was like, okay, with the next step, when we add the skin, aka rice paper, we're gonna fix this successfully. Then I started making the marinade for my turkey skin. This is some vegan European gravy, which I will show you in the next step how to make it. Added some ketchup, some more of my vegan chicken broth, some liquid smoke, onion powder, garlic salt, and then also again the smoky and sweet barbecue seasoning. Then a little bit of maple syrup, and then mix that all together. Make sure the turkey has cooled down completely before you add the marinade and the rice paper. And as the next step, I'm just gonna brush all of this marinade over my turkey, front and back, obviously. And then I started the water for my rice paper, soak the rice paper in it, make sure it's not too soft so it doesn't rip, and then just basically just coated my turkey in the rice paper. The rice paper is gonna be the skin. We wanna have it all flavorful and crispy, so give it a little bit of extra texture. And I was also successful by fixing one of the arms back on with the rice paper. Yeah, and then I just added some marinade on top of the rice paper along with a little bit of olive oil, and then just repeated the whole process on the other side. I was making sure that everything was sitting nice and tight, and then I prepared a baking dish and added some olive oil to it so the bottom of the turkey wouldn't stick to it. And then just put it on there, and then I was like, oh yeah, I want to make this nice and pretty, so I'm gonna I got some herbs, some sage, rosemary and thyme, and I just made sure that they were drenched in olive oil so they wouldn't burn. Just put them around my turkey, and then I put it into the oven at 350 degrees until the skin was crispy. It was about, I think, probably 30-40 minutes, but yeah, just make sure you check it. Bye bye turkey. Yep, in the oven.
Alright, the pups are both waiting here for our turkey. Great.
Made sure everyone got some snuggle times in between the cooking process, and then when we were all full energized again, we could get right back to it.
Okay guys, here's our turkey, fresh out the oven. Listen to this crunch. Okay, I wanted to show you guys the consistency. So it's really moist, and then when you pull it, it actually has these like strings. It's pretty good. See that? And then of course the crispy skin on top of there.
I could not get my hands on some fresh green beans this year, so I saw these beautiful sugar peas and I was like, this is perfect for my side salad. Let's just make something nice with those. And then I also found this purple kohlrabi, which I love kohlrabi. You could also use something else in the salad, like pear, whatever, because kohlrabi has a little bit of sweet flavor to it. And I saved the leaves of the kohlrabi, sliced them thin, because yes, you can eat them, peeled the kohlrabi, and then I took a shallot and just diced the shallot, some tempeh, also cut that small. This is gonna be like a barbecue bacon kind of taste to it. So then I had all of the main ingredients ready. I ended up chopping the kohlrabi in small cubes and then cooking them in hot salted water until fork tender, and then these sugar peas I blanched. For my barbecue sauce I added some olive oil, some ketchup, garlic powder, liquid smoke, some more of the sweet and smoky barbecue seasoning, some garlic salt, and some smoked paprika, as well as some onion powder, some soy sauce, and a little bit of water. And then just found this gochujang paste in my fridge and I was like, why not? Just add another layer of flavor. So I added that as well, and then I mixed it all together. When I tasted it, I noticed that I needed another layer of flavor, so I added a little bit of rice vinegar and also some mirin, the Japanese rice wine. Mix it all together and now the flavor was right. I took a pan, added some olive oil, and I just browned my tempeh, aka bacon, in the pan on all sides. And then once it was nice golden on some parts, I added my barbecue sauce, kept stirring and let it cook down a little bit until all of the liquid had evaporated. And then I just put that aside so I could continue with the rest of my side dish. I used the same pan and added my chopped shallots and just let them get glassy. And then I added some Dijon mustard and then just stirred everything up and let it cook for about a minute. After that I added my bacon back in, my tempeh bacon, and stirred that all together, and then followed by the now fork tender kohlrabi and the blanched sugar peas. Mixed that up as well. Then I added some lemon juice, mixed everything well together again, and then I added my kohlrabi leaves that I obviously had washed and chopped, and just stirred everything together, and last but not least, added some salt and pepper to taste. Then I stirred it all up again and took my pan off the heat. I chopped some fresh parsley and added it to my side dish along with some fresh lemon zest. And there you have it. It's a sugar pea and kohlrabi salad with crispy bacon bites. I decided, oh, it's not crispy enough, so I also had some fried crispy onions, vegan of course, which I added on top, and that gave it this extra kick of crispiness. And you can eat this warm or room temperature. I wouldn't say ice cold, but yeah, it was pretty delicious. As you can see, Lana wants some too. So the gravy I was making, I wanted to be more on the lighter side, more like I'm used to it from Europe. So like this rich, flavorful, but like rather like thin, glossy, dark brown gravy. So I started by dicing an onion, then I added butter to a pan. Let that melt, and once it was melted, I added my onions and then just let them cook until they were nice and glossy. I added tomato paste and then stirred that all nicely together. Then I added my spices, some black peppercorns, along with some cloves, a few bay leaves, and then also some fresh herbs. I had some thyme, rosemary, and I think 1 leaf of sage I added as well. And don't worry about it, we're gonna strain this later, so you can just throw in whatever you like. I added my red wine, probably half a bottle. Unfortunately only had some nice one there, but that just makes the gravy better. Then I added some maple syrup. You could also add some port wine, but I didn't have any, and then I just let this cook down until you get this paste and almost like some brown bits. I kept stirring, just making sure I scraped everything off from the bottom of the pan, and then I added my vegan chicken concentrate for the broth, along with some water. I added a second and a third round of water and just made sure that the flavor was still there and I had enough liquid, but it wouldn't taste watery. Then I mixed it all up and just let it reduce to half of it. I took a sieve, strained it through it, and then put it back into the pan. Added some ketchup, some Worcestershire sauce, don't know if I said that right, you know what I mean, some soy sauce, and a little bit of butter, just to give it that extra kick of flavor. Stirred it all up and let it cook down. And then I got this beautiful gravy. If you wanted to have it a little thicker, you could mix some cornstarch with water and just put it in the sauce and let it cook down. For my mashed potatoes, I started by peeling my potatoes. I usually use golden potatoes, but these russet potatoes were on sale. It was a killer deal, I couldn't say no. So I chopped them a little smaller, just so that they would cook faster, because they were pretty big, would probably have taken forever if I cooked them like that. Boiled some water, added some salt to it once it was boiling. I've heard that when you add it before, it doesn't boil as fast. So ever since then I'm doing like that. Added my potato pieces and then just let them boil until they were fork tender. I took a potato ricer, added my potatoes to it. I can really highly recommend this if you like really smooth potatoes or purees. Other purees, I mean, that was a life changer for me. So I riced them all or mashed them all, added them back to the hot pot, added butter, extra of course because it is Thanksgiving, then added some plant-based milk, also some garlic salt, and then also some nutmeg because I'm German and I grew up with this, and there's always has to be nutmeg in my mashed potatoes. Stirred it all up, plated it up nicely. Lana's licking her lips in the background, so must have smelled good. And then just added a few green onions on top for the looks. And here you have some beautiful mashed potato that are gonna be amazing with the gravy, I think. I honestly don't have the sweetest tooth, but it's Thanksgiving, so I wanted a dessert as well. And I was like, let's go with this peach parfait. So I took a vegan coconut yogurt. I had this really creamy one, added some cinnamon, vanilla extract, and some maple syrup, mixed it all up. Then I got my can of peaches, took the peaches out, sliced them thinly, and then I saved the most beautiful slice for the top of the parfait. I had these vegan chai sugar cookies, which I crumbled up in the bag. Then I took a deep glass, put the cookie crumble on the bottom, and then layered the middle with my peaches. Last, I put my cream, my coconut yogurt, cinnamon, vanilla, sugar cream on top, and filled the rest of the glass with it. And then lastly put my saved slice of peach up there, and there it was. I set the table and it was time to feast. Look at that plate.